Sometimes you're dying, but you just want to yap about bugs. Yes, this is the me you get for the 26 books in 2026. We don't need to talk about it. Also, I'm sitting on the grass, so something may appear. Can you lay down? Can you go lay down? I need to talk about books. I can't kiss you. I'm wearing lipstick. Bella is here to be my emotional support. I'm sorry you have a fever. Because I am sick. I've been sick on and off for like 2 weeks. Bella. And I so I have a fever and a migraine. And this is the look you're getting from me. Be proud I put on some lipstick and a little bit of concealer on my pimples because that's the effort you're getting. And I just want to yap about books. But I swear to God, if you lay out all the physical books right there. Anyways, my wonderful view as I film this of a dog, I here to talk about 26 books, 26. You're gonna be like, girl, have you ever completed one of these ever actually read all the books? No, I say that, but I am currently, as I'm filming this, it is before Thanksgiving. I'm in my pre-filming era for the end of year videos, and this is one of the ones I can do earlier than the others, right? And I am putting in a serious effort to try to finish the ones I have left, which is like half of them for 2025. So maybe 2025, I'm hoping it is the year I do it. And if it is, there will be a video where I talk about every single one. That is my excuse. That's not going to be how I force myself to read all these with the knowledge that if I do it, I have an easy video I can do. Look at me go. All these but one is a sequels, asterisks, except for another one. And I will talk about it in a minute because all those ones, all the ones that have asterisks that are interesting because of that aspect is physical books, which I love for me. But yes, series. They're all series, essentially. Because a girl is, at this point, I haven't counted a while, but I think it's like at least 70 series she's in the middle of. We don't need to talk about it. And so I thought this was a great way to maybe not have that issue. And yeah, also if you see the light of 1,000 suns coming up from below me, it's my iPad. It's what all my notes are on. Because some of these I do have to have notes to be like what series it's a part of and all that stuff. Anyways, the first one we're gonna talk about is the one that isn't part of the series. It's a standalone. It's House of Leaves by Marcus E. Danielewski. So funny story. For the 25 list, I did a random number generator that pulled up only Revolutions by him. And that's like a book that you can only read physically. This one as well, because like the art of reading it, I say as I feel pretentious saying that. I like you only can read it physically, so when I bought that one, I bought this one because I thought this one was gonna be more my style. It's like got a bunch of mixed media stuff. It's very interesting in here. So I thought this would be more my style. And then I can do like a series of me reading the strangest books I own, and it'd be that one and this one. It's like a 2-part series type thing on my channel. That one got actually a lot of views, so this is my excuse to put it on the list, but also in the knowledge that I am going to read it. I know I'm going to read it because I have like a video plan for it and everything. And this is the only standalone. Technically, okay, this is where we get to the main aspects one, Way of Things. Because technically it is the first in a series, but it's also part of a different series, The Cosmere itself. So I'm counting it. Yeah, it's like the first in Stormlight Archive, if you don't know. We're getting close to the end of the ones I actually own. I own the second Stormlight Archive, in like normal tall paperback. It's like really tall actually, thanks to my sister's boyfriend. It's not the same thickness as well. I'm not scared at all. In case you're wondering, no, I've not read Elantris or Warbreaker. Is that the name of the other standalone? I think it's currently standalone. Right, that has to be read between Mistborn and this. No, I've not read them. Yes, they are both on my 25 and 2025. I have Elantris like sitting right over there, next to my desk. Like it's on my things I need to read. Okay, I gotta reach. Also, throughout this, I'm gonna be taking breaks for water because, again, fever. Alright, the next one. It's actually only one of these. Is it this one? Dance of Dragons is the 5th one. This is Dance of Dragons. This is A Feast of Crows. And then this is A Storm of Swords, which feels thicker than the last one. I don't know how accurate that is, but I have them in a mixed up order. Funny story, because I got them as like a box set gift set, right? The whole series in leather brown. It looks thicker too. Interesting. I assume it goes Feast of Crow next and then Storm of Swords. Anyways, I got them as a box set, and within seconds of me getting it, my mother went, ooh, I want to read those. So in order to make it so she couldn't read them, I put them in random order in the box set, because there's no way she's going to go through the effort of looking up which one goes first in the order of them. And in case you're wondering why, my first ever edition, Pride and Prejudice I ever owned, I can't find still, because she borrowed it 2 years ago, and she read 5 pages of it. I still to this day don't know where it is. So good thing I have 2 other copies of it. So, you know, that's why. You may be like, girl, what the hell are you on? Technically, only Dance of the Dragons is on this list, but, I will have to read these 2 to read this one. I am currently reading, like, currently, like, 70 pages in, started it last night. ACOC, aka, what is it? A Kingdom of Crows, I think that's what it is, which I can see because it's right on top of Elantris. It's, like, right in my view. So, technically, it's just this one on the list. With the knowledge, I'm also gonna have to read these 2 to read this one. I think I can do all 3 of them throughout the year. Like, I think I can do it. I think I can do ACOC during the rest of this month. If I do it for like, if I specifically set aside the time to do it for 2 hours every day, because that's how I did Game of Thrones, is I set aside half an hour every day. Anyways, once I get over the fear of like actually picking them up I can get into them really fast. Into me last night. So I don't think that'll be an issue. Also, those are also planned for a video. I'm gonna try to read every single one, and I want that to come out before I'm 50 years old. So, and then the other Asterix one, this is very dusty. It's been on my bookshelf, the spare bookshelf downstairs that hasn't been moved. Like, this hasn't been moved in like a decade. This is all three. I thought this was also The Hobbit. It's not. I also have to reread The Hobbit. Because actually, I don't have to reread The Hobbit because I thought this was The Hobbit as well, and I had read The Hobbit from this. Apparently, I never did. So I have to read The Hobbit for the first time, and then it would be me rereading Fellowship of the Ring, because the one I put on the list is Return of the King, which is the last one. So this was my excuse of putting a classic on here, essentially, because normally on these lists I put like a handful of nonfiction, a handful of classics to get me to read those right every year. So I'm very much in my nonfiction era. So by doing this, I'm putting 4 classics on the list. So there's that. And 2, a friend on Twitch, daughter is just starting the Fellowship of the Ring. I think she is at the part where they meet Strider, is what she was saying the other night. And she had just finished The Hobbit, so I went, now I kind of want to read Lord of the Rings. So this is on the list now. Anyways, don't we love my 1 volume edition? The text size is so small. Pray for me. Pray for me. Why do I do this? Anyways, now all the actual ones that are actually continuing a series. That isn't me just putting in the last book of the series and be like, okay, now I gotta read 4 books. The first one. Listen, I tried to make sure not all of them are romances. Okay, but the first one is, which is the first of 2 Katie Roberts. The other one is further down. The Kraken's Sacrifice, which is the second of the Katie Robert monster smut. I read The Dragon's Bride, which is the first one, 3 years ago. Where I am now at filming this, I gotta read it in the next 2 days. Again for another video. So to actually make me continue the series, I put the next one on the list, especially since the monster smut that really got into reading monster smut, this is a weird sentence I'm saying, was a Kraken smut. And recently, in the same video, I read a Dragon Smut by the same author that I didn't like. And so, being as I already know I like the Dragon Smut that Katie Robert read, or wrote, in theory, I will also love their Kraken Smut. Right? Like, this is a positive for me. Anyways, that's my plan for that. I think there's, like, a demon one after that. And I don't remember what the other one. I think the series is, like, Deal with Demons or something like that. And it's about human girls who make a deal with demons to spend X amount of years with magical creatures. And they're sold to, like, auction off to be their partners for a certain amount of time, and they get X amount, or you get something out of it. The first one I know that she's running away from an abusive relationship, and so that's what she's getting out of it. She's getting safety and security. And so Kraken one for the second one, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. The 6th book we're going to talk about is The Oleander Sword, which is the second book in the Jasmine Throne series. Is it a trilogy? I don't remember. I read the Jasmine Throne for my own book club. We love that for me. There can be a book club for somebody else actually that I went, but I think I'm like one of the 5 people who, maybe 2 people who read it actually. And it was great. I had a great time. I love queer woman of swords. The end. The moral of the story. So I want to continue the series, but it's like another high fantasy. There's so many fantasies. I realize. I think I'm in my fantasy era. Anyways, it's another high fantasy, but this one's by a woman and sapphic, and it's essentially it's one that's not written by a white man, which it's a theme in a lot of popular ones. Also, this one. So I put it on the list because if I'm gonna read a bunch of high fantasies, I might as well read one that's come out in the past 5 years. I actually don't know when Wicked King came out, but I think I bought it 5 years ago. So, and it's not by a white man, straight white man. So we love that. Anyways, do I remember fully what it's about? Absolutely not. Will I look up what happens in the first one when I go read the second one? Yes, 100%. That's how my brain works. 7th one, Gentleman's Gambit, which is the last book in the, I don't know the name of the series, but it's the Evie Dunmore series. I think it's Dancing with the Duke is the name of the first one. And that one was the historical romance that got me into reading historical romance. I think I read it when I was like 20, okay? It was the first book of the club book I got, book of the month, not book club, what? And so I own the first 3 from book of the month, and then one I had to choose book of the month, and so I ended up canceling it. 2, I didn't like the 3rd one. I think I read that this year. Was it this year or last year? Anyways, I really liked the first one. It got me into reading historical romance in the first place. So we can thank Evie Dunmore for my obsession with Tessa Bears. Okay? Thank you so much, Evie. I think it's rated at 5 stars. If I would change it, may actually be a 4 and I may have lowered it to a 4. The second one, I love. It's in my high caliber of historical romances. I think I gave that one like a 4.5. I loved it. 3rd one really pissed me off. I really did not like it. The middle part was like, okay, but most of it I really despised. And so for that reason, I decided not to buy the 4th one. And that's all that's left. I just have to read the 4th one. And I've had a wait list forever, like had it on hold on Libby forever, and I just haven't. What is the series? The series is about a bunch of women who are trying to fight for their rights, but also love. That's it. That's it. So, you know, we believe in it. Let's go. Stranger Skies, which is the second book in the Curious Tide series. I don't know what the name of the actual series is. Hilariously, the day after I made this list, my hold that I've had on Stranger Skies, the audiobook, came in. I did not, by the way, I suspended because it's like 15 hours. They're like 500-page books, okay? At least the first one's like over 500 pages, right? And so I was like, there's no way I have time to read it before the end of the year, right? So I just suspended it, and when it hits January, I'll unsuspend it. Now, here's the thing with Curious Ties. This is a dark academia type thing where it follows. Listen, one of them name is Emery, and then there's another one, and their names are so familiar, like so similar. One of them, they're best friends, right? And one of them dies on this fateful night, right, at school. A bunch of people die, and one of them is the only person to survive this event, and she ends up working with Baz, who is the best friend's older brother, who's always had a thing for her, works with him to try to figure this out, but also there's like a whole bunch of secret culty things. Anyways, she has two love interests, and one of them I despise with every fiber of my being. Talking on Twitch with people about my least favorite character, who was the other love interest, who she kept on choosing over Baz, who I love greatly. It was so much fun. I love it so much. I hate it. I hate it. I think that's part of the reason why it was only 3 stars for me, because a lot of the book was their romance. And spoiler alert, the guy who she already knows is part of a cult and has manipulated her is manipulating her because of a cult the whole time. Anyways, she's a dumbass, and I love Baz. So there is you may be like, girl, why you continue the series? Because the second one is apparently very different and has to do with time travel. And all the time travel stuff centers around Baz. I love time travel and I love Baz, so I'm there for it. Also, Baz is doing the time travel with his best friend, who is already confirmed, and I have a headcanon that he's in love with Baz, and like, I get it, and I think they should screw who cares about white lady over here, go bang your best friend, you know, bros, just being bros, trauma bonded technically. So let's go. That's Stranger Skies, let's go. Okay, I put this one on the list, and then I saw more and more things about it. I think because the Goodreads Choice Awards first round just came out, and it's on one. I think it's on the Romantasy list. And so more people are talking about Mate by Ali Hazelwood, the sequel to Bride. I have all opinions about the cover. We're not going to talk about it here. I love telling people that Bride is my favorite Ali Hazelwood. My sister came to me and went, which one's your favorite Ali Hazelwood? Because she is in the neuroscience field, right? So a lot of Ali Hazelwood's books that have to do with academia, especially in the science field, really relate with her. And so she likes those romances, right? And so she's like, which one's your favorite? I'm like, Bride. And she's like, no. Anyways, I read Bride pretty late. I think it was like August of last year. And then I got a 40-year-old man to read it. We don't need to talk about that. I got other people to read it. And finally Nate came out. Obviously the waitlist is very long. I literally put it on hold the day it came out. It's multiple months. It's gonna be so long before I get it, so it's on the list. Okay. It's where I think this one is the werewolf best friend, who's like half werewolf, and it's unknown at this point that like half breeds can transform and still be wolfy. And so she's dealing with medical stuff because of that, but also things that happened from the first book. And this is stuff that I've seen about on Threads, because it's been talked about recently. So she's dealing with a lot of that and medical stuff. And then there is I don't know if he's another alpha of another group or what. Hello, Bella. Or what's going on here. But I guess they choose to be mates instead of fated mates. It's like them being chosen to be mates, and he helps her out. And the chronically ill bitch. I'm here for it. Anyways, you're my cutie. Oh my god, she's being so cute. Okay. Oh yeah, I put the two Ali Hazelwoods right next to each other, but I didn't put the two Katie Roberts next to each other. I'm dumb. Anyways, Problematic Summer Romance. I'm scared. I read Not in Love, which is the first book in the series, a month ago. And Problematic Summer Romance is the male main character in that one's male best friend, and his younger sister, right, who's like 25 if that, and his male best friend's like mid to late 30s, right? And here's my issue, right? I've like heard great things, like people I trust have said good things about it. The people who said good things about Not Love said good things about this one. So I'm going in ready for Ali Hazelwood because she is a god and I trust her. But we all need to also recognize that I hated him in the first one. Every time he's on page in the first one, he is saying pretty horrible things to essentially every woman on page. And is always excused as he doesn't know how to handle his emotions or he's drunk. I would like to fight a man. Have you tried therapy? Anyways, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think it's a thing where they had a sexual relationship previously, and she's had a thing for him ever since, or for a while now, and he's trying to be like, no, we can't do this because, you're my best friend's younger sister, and there's like a large age gap and all this stuff, and I think they're in Italy for the main character from the first one's wedding. So, the fact that they're getting married is very surprising to me. She seems type to be like, we can sign what is it, the paperwork that's like, hey, we're living partners, and we're, like, this is my partner, but it's like not marriage paperwork. It's a thing in Canada and Vermont, so I know about it. Common law partnership, I think is what it's called. Like, she seems like the type to be like, maybe that, but not marriage. Like, I don't know how I feel about that aspect, but yeah. Anyways, our next one, Dark Restraint, which is book 7 in the Dark Olympus series, which is the other Katie Robert. I think there's supposed to be 10 books, right? And I think it's Tender Cruelty is the one that just came out, like, 2 days ago from me filming this, okay? Which is the New Zeus and Hera one, which is the one that most people are most excited for. It's second to last one. I think there's 10 planned, right? It's like modern day city that's essentially based on like the hierarchy of the city, is like run like a mafia, but also based off Greek gods, right? But a bunch of like weird stuff's happening, and there's a bunch of like people getting murdered all over the place, and backdoor deals and stuff like this, and sex clubs because it's Katie Robert. Neon Gods, I think is my favorite Katie Robert. I've read so many Katie Roberts at this point in my life, but I think Neon Gods is my favorite. I did rate it 5 stars, which is the first one in the series. I think Dark Restraint is the Minotaur, who has been kind of a villain for the past like since book like 3 when he first popped up, because that was the Achilles like fighting for the title of Ares one, right? And so he was in that competition. So I think he's kind of been like a background villain since that one, but he's like working for somebody else, but nobody knows really who or in what way. And so they just think he's evil, and I think it's him and Ariadne, right? I just read book 6 like 2 weeks ago. Like I think that was the first book I finished this month, and I really liked it. Listen, I've been reading every single one as audiobooks, and they're great to listen to as I just like play video games that are mind numbing. So like all the times I just drive around for 6 hours in Death Stranding, great time to put on one of these audiobooks. The issue is that the ebooks are always available on Libby, but not the audiobooks, and they're multiple month waits. So this is me reminding me it's on the list to remind me to actually read it. Because what happens is I don't put a hold on it, and then I don't think about it for like 8 months, and then I go, oh yeah, that series, maybe I should continue it. And so I go to do that, and then it takes 2 more months for me to get the book. And then it's almost been a year since I've read a book. And it's like, no, I need to read them closer together. So this is my reminder to freaking read it. The end. Absolution, which is a book for some reason that has like, I have had a hold on this book since, I want to say June or July, and it's still several months. It's so long. It's the last book in the Annihilation series, right? I can't, I think I can kind of remember his name, but I can't remember his name right now. The author. I think we've all, like, I think I was one of 5 people who've seen the movie. I read the book like years ago, the first one, and Annihilation, and I didn't think about it ever again until recently. I think I had a migraine hilariously. Great time to read it now. And so I just like, in a 24-hour vlog, I was just like mind numb listening to this audiobook, and I had a great time. Ivy, what are you doing over there? We're ignoring it. I had a great time listening to it. Do I understand what's happening? Absolutely not. Am I living my best life? Yes. And that was also my thoughts and opinions on the second one. Is that Southern Reach? I don't remember. And then the third one, I really didn't like. The third one, the first one and the second one are very separate, and there's only like a small thread of connection between the two of them. And then the third one really just like forces those 2 books into like the characters from those books that I like so much separately, forces them together. And it feels not like I didn't like it. Like it feels when you have 2 baggage and you put them like the same charge against each other and goes separate, right? You know what I'm saying? That's what it felt like was happening internally. But there is a 4th one that has come out multiple years later. In which when I was looking up, should I read it? The general consensus is if you like the universe, sure. If you want answers, no, because you're not gonna get them. And I went, well, I don't want answers. I'm just living my best life, being like, what the fuck is happening? Anyways, the first 3 books are like, you know how on Libby sometimes there's always books that are always available. Like, there's unlimited copies. That's the 3 first books of the Annihilation series, my library, but not the 4th one. And I spent so long. I think I only have 1 copy, and there's been like 20 people waiting, so it's gonna take a long fucking time, but it will finish a series for me. I would love that. Actually, multiple of these are finishing series. I will count afterwards. Next one, Gemina, which is the second book in the Illuminae trilogy. I was scared to read Illuminae, and then I really liked it. I know. I think it's technically a favorite of vlog, also, where I read sci-fi books. Yeah, no, it was really good. I liked it. I was intrigued to read more. I've heard interesting things about the 3rd one and the 2nd one. Like, I know people who really love the 1st one just never read the 3rd one, because it's, like, not the same thing, apparently. I don't know. I am intrigued enough to pick it up still. What is this? It is a mixed media sci-fi following, the first one is following, right after the attack on a Mayan colony by a big organization, or a big company, right? And there is a whole thing where, like, there's rescue ships and whatnot that come to help, but they're, like, separate from the rest of the group, and that means that either, they've also attacked, like, the big, like, government ships to, like, protect against this stuff, right? To be like, hey, it's fine that we just bombed a few thousand people. It's fine, because we're gonna kill a few thousand more over here in the government, so they can't do anything about it because they're a little busy, right? That type of thing, but also there's, like, a weird disease going through, like, I think it's assumed that they dropped some of the bombs were, like, chemical warfare type stuff where it was causing sickness that made people kind of zombie-esque. And then there's also a thing with a crazy AI. And we're following this 17-year-old girl who escapes with her ex-boyfriend. Her ex-boyfriend and her, the only people that she really knows is her ex-boyfriend. And she's very anti-establishment, which we love. And then there's in Revelations at the end, and I had a good time. The first, like, 100 pages, I was not having a good time. I will say that. I was not having a good time. I really hated him. And then, because most of it is, like, messages between the 2 of them, or them and other people, right? It's, like, a whole, like, it's the Illuminae files, it's the files that somebody else is reading, or something like that. And so, I really didn't like him, which is really funny, with one of the final revelations. That's so funny, actually, thinking about that back. Anyways, he did grow on me, okay? She really went, hey, the government's evil, and billionaires are evil, and he went, okay, fine, maybe you're right. We love that. Anyways, I'm being continued with that series. This Wicked Fate. I feel like I've put Kaylin Byron, I think that's her name, on my list the past few years. I think since I read Cinderella Instead. Cinderella Instead may have been on one. Anyways, This Poison Heart was last year's 2024. And I loved it. I think it's my favorite book by her so far. This year's 2025 was You Will Not Die Tonight, I think is the name of it, and it was fine. I was mad about it. This Wicked Fate is a sequel to This Poison Heart. It's a duology, so it will be me finishing series. It is queer. It's about a adopted girl learning that she has inherited from her biological family this house, and so they're dealing with issues with I think they have a floor shop or something like that, where the rent's like going up a lot. And so they are having money flow issues, and so they're like going to the house to like one, figure out about her biological family, but two, so they can set up the house to possibly sell it, so that they could have their Photoshop some more. She's really good with plants. Good thing because there's a secret garden in the back, that has medicinal plants, but also some freaky poison heart ones. Anyways, there's also things with gods and weird stuff, and I really like the first one. I somehow have not picked up the sequel. This is me telling me to pick up the sequel. Anyways, The Rebel and the Rose. This one, also hilarious, because when I started to make this list, I had the ebook. Also, a funny thing is that Goodreads is telling me the sequel isn't out yet, and 17 is also telling me the sequel isn't coming out yet. Like, it's coming out the next week, but I already have from the library the sequel. I don't understand. I don't understand. This is the second book in City of Phantom duology, so it's also the end of series. Anyways, what is I gonna say? Anyway, oh yeah, I had it out from the library, and I didn't have time to read it, so I had to return it and put it back on hold several months because it's a brand new release. So, that's the thing. So now it's on the list. One, I love the name. My name is Rose. I like the name of the book. Two, it is the second book, sequel to a book that I rated 5 stars this year, and I loved, which is The Dagger and the Flame, which is about a girl who witnessed the murder of her mother. And there is in the main part of the city, these two different like cartels type thing, mafia, almost kind of underground city dealings type things. And there's one which whole thing is stealing and thievery, and then there's the one that's whole thing is killing, right? And the killer group, the head of them, was the one who like had a job to kill her mother, whose whole thing was making the drug both groups take. The stealers wear the drug, and then the killers take the drug, and over time it slowly poisons and kills you. Whoops. And so she is like her mother when she dies. She's like, hey, go to the thieves. So she is working thieves so that she has some protection from the bad people, the killer people who are the reason why her mother's dead, right? But the kind of like a son to the leader guy who had the job to kill the mother, has the son guy like keep an eye on her so that when they get a free moment they can kill her, because if they kill somebody in the thieves, technically it's against the rules, but if she's like separated from the thieves enough, they can like kill her and maybe make it look like it wasn't them. Except very fast they're falling in love. And then so many revelations, crazy shit happens. Also there's like weird murders happening because of monsters, and weird things that the drug does. Like her mother found like weird magical properties or other scientific properties from the weird drug, and all this stuff. And lightning at the end. I remember lightning at the end. Anyways, I really liked it, and so I'm excited for the sequel. I think it was like my most anticipated release of this year, other than Oathbound, and I didn't even read the first one until like August. So we love that for me. Okay, I know there's a hashtag in the title, but I'm just gonna call it swag. Which is according to my notes, the straight Gear Shark. I love that for me. Thanks me. Gear Shark is the cover is based off of magazine covers, right? And it's supposed to be these drag racing car racers, and how they're like coming up into traditional car racing and whatnot. This one follows. This is the only straight one. The rest of them are gay. The first two, I really love the first one. I love the first one so much. Anyways, this one is about the daughter of one of the biggest car racing guys who like money guys. His daughter who is like in charge of training his guys, but never can race herself, quote unquote, because she's just a girl, right? So she's like, well, this less legal kind of new, not many rules type of racing that's coming up officially. Well, this seems like the perfect time for me to start racing. Thank you very much, professionally. And she straight was a straight one. I have just been holding off reading this one, despite the fact that I read the second one like a year and a half ago at least, right? Mostly because it's a straight one. Okay, I am excited to read. I think the one after this, I'm very excited to read because we have seen a bit of him and his brother, especially in the second one, and his background. So I'm excited for like the fourth one. But before that, I gotta read the straight one. I know, I'm so annoyed too. Anyways, if I just reread the first one instead. Watch me, I will do it. Don't tempt me. Anyways, this is me telling me to do that. Golden Sun, the second book in Red Rising, which is Red Rising Song, I think is the full name of the series, which is about there's people with different colors blood. There's the reds and then there's just the golds, and the main character whose name I don't remember because I never remember characters' names, witnesses the essential murder of the love of his life by the hands of the golds for like basically propaganda purposes. And so he was like, and people he's like essentially killed I think he's believed to be dead by the Golds. I don't know. And so he's basically, they changed his whole entire anatomy to make him a Gold and to take him down from the inside. There's like this whole underground group that's doing this and helping him out. And so he takes part in these trials to become like help her out in the Gold Society. And turns out the Gold that killed his love, he ends up falling in love with his daughter and working for him, I think. And that's why it's Golden Son, as in not son, but as in child son, right? So I'm intrigued enough to continue the series. Listen, I've heard great things, so I will continue the series. Oh my god, this is the one that I'm most likely to DNF, right? Hook, Line, and Sinker, which is the Tessa Bailey duology. I don't know. Second one, that one. So end of series. Let's go. The first one was a book I don't remember the title of. I feel like Summer was in the title of it. I hated it. Moral stories, I hated it. The romance was, the spud scenes, I literally was skipping them. It was so bad. It was so bad. It was so bad. And I've enjoyed Tessa Bailey. I think the Tessa Bailey I like is the one that nobody likes, which is the holiday romance one. The window shopping. I like that one. And it, like, reading it, like, gave me an existential crisis, because I thought that maybe I didn't like that when I was lying to myself. Like, it was bad. That's how bad it was. I did not like, listen, it was, rich white girl is sent to, middle of nowhere's Maine, to survive with no money, because she's rich and white, and she's never been given any opportunities ever, because she's just a dumb rich white blonde lady. And then she falls in love with fisherman or whatever. The sequel is about her sister. I've heard better things about the second one. I think the first one is also highly regarded. But I know people really love the sequel as well, so I will give it a shot. This is the one that's most likely to be DNF. I don't know what I will replace it with. That is the issue. Bella, do you have any ideas? She says, bitch, shut the fuck up, I'm trying to sleep. I hear ya, but like, I'm busy here. He's so cute. Okay, did I just have to cut out 5 minutes of me playing my dog? Yes. And my dog Benji is really cute and like next to me. Yes, you are. The Eos Rising. I think this one's also a duology, don't quote me on that. It's a sequel to Eoski. I forgot this had come out this year. I remember seeing that it was coming out like a week before it was coming out, right? And I got really excited and I forgot about it. And I am going to buy it. I'm going to buy the ebook because I do own this first one. I think I have a dedicated video just to the first one. And I'm pretty sure DM Lurie, Bella, please don't knock over the light, like actually commented on that video. We're not talking about it. It's like when I read the first Aristotle and Dante book and I reviewed it on Instagram. And I was like, man, not for me. And the author went, thank you for your review. And then I don't think he's ever seen that I've read the sequel and I loved it. Like, this man, I don't think he knows that I actually read the sequel and loved it. Anyways, Eoski, I think I gave the first one 3.5 stars. I really liked it. It's self-pub, black fantasy author. There's vampires, if I remember properly. Should I reread the first one? Yes. Will I? Probably not. I'll just watch my video. Hear me out. There's like probably a 30-minute video where I talk about it. I'll just watch that. Anyways, the sequel finally came out. I'm very excited. I've been following her on Instagram, so I've been like watching her writing journey and whatnot. Because this is like after her day job type thing. So this is to remind me that it's out and I should read it, right? Can you tell the theme of a lot of these? Married to the Devil, which is the last book. Hey, you remember when I was talking about the Kraken? Kiriara Kraken spot, and there was another Kraken spot that I really liked. Yeah, and I had recently read the Dragon spot in that series that I didn't like. But I have not liked any of the books in that series. Since the first one, since the Kraken one. But I'm down to the last one. I have one more, and I'm gonna fucking read it. I swear to God. It's Married to the Devil. Yeah, this one follows a witch. She's like technically not a shifter, but a rare occurrence happened where her shifter side was dormant and the witch side was prominent. So she's a witch who is really good at charms and whatnot. In the Dragon one that I just read, she is kind of forced to marry a gargoyle. This also has to do with like business and mafia and whatnot. Kind of forced to marry a gargoyle. I don't understand why. Literally, there was so much about the logistics and I understood zero of it. It made no sense to me. Because of the taking down of her father / killing him, he died. He did gone. I think her brother is alive though, so that's gonna be interesting. But also, a person who's really mad about her having to marry this gargoyle, who she's never really met. Apparently, there was like a thing multiple years prior where he tried to marry her, to be like, hey, we can take him down together. And she just finally accepted him. Bella, I swear to God. The guy who's working for a dragon who helped set this all up. He's a demon whose specialization is teleportation. And demons, people don't like demons. But it was very clear that I had like this whole flirtation the whole book. And so it's like she's technically married to this gargoyle, but she has a flirtation relationship with this devil or this demon. And her gargoyle husband is like, sure, go for it. Queen, love you, bye. So I think it's a purple one. I don't know. I'm not excited, but I'll finish the series finally. My head is killing me. We're so close to being done. We have, I think, 5 more, Bella. We can do it. We have 6 more, Bella. We can do it. We can do it. Next one is Crest, which is the 3rd book in the Lunar Chronicles series. I think there's 4 books total. This is the Rapunzel one, if I remember properly. It is. I remember, so Scarlet was on, which is the second one, was on this year's list. And I think last year may have had Cinder. Don't quote me on that. It is a sci-fi fairy tale retelling series, right? The first one was Cinderella, but she's a cyborg. The second one was Red Riding Hood. But werewolves? I remember there being werewolves. I didn't like it that much. That's another thing. I didn't like it much. The third one is Cress. They are very interconnected, apparently. I don't know. I kind of annoyed by the series, but I care enough to continue. Because they are easy to read. So I put Cress on the list to get me to read it. Again, the theme here, the theme. Most Ardently, there is a series of remix classics. I've read one or two of them. I don't remember how many. I think only one technically, because I got the Romeo and Juliet one from NetGalley forever ago. Most Ardently is by I believe trans author who I've read from before and really liked that book. And it's a Pride and Prejudice, queer Pride and Prejudice retelling. What about that news thing doesn't scream me? I do remember when this came out, I was so excited and I wanted to read it so bad, and I just kept on putting it off because I was scared that everyone like it. You know that time when you're really excited for something, but you're scared you're not gonna like it, so you just keep on putting it off. That's been me with Most Ardently. This is me getting me to read it, right? In case you don't know what this series is, a bunch of classics but remixed to be more inclusive, so they're queer or authors. Well, I guess there are authors of color, but characters of color. I think there's like Black Little Woman. I think it's the first one. I haven't read that. I literally haven't read any of them except for the Romeo and Juliet, which is also queer. But yeah, I think this one has a trans main character, which will be fun. One of my favorite historical romances is a trans one. So, hi. Can we continue? Please, I love you. But anyway, should I read should I read the Little Woman one? Yes. Because I have read Little Woman. I think the reason why I haven't read, another reason why I haven't read it is it hasn't been read, like this book like 8 or 9 series, and I haven't read the earlier ones, but like, it's not boring. They're not like interconnected or anything. They're all by different authors and whatnot. And there's like, I want to read the Treasure Planet one, but I haven't read Treasure Planet yet, so I want to read that first, and stuff like that. There's also, hello? There's other ones in the series I'm also really interested in, but I haven't read the classics they're based off of yet, so this is the one that I have read the classic based off of, so I want to read it. So Hunting Prince Dracula. I read Stalking Jack the Ripper 4 years ago, 5 years ago. It may have been 2020. I own it. It's in my own haul file, but I own it. It was fine, but I liked it enough to think about continuing the series. We'll see after the second one if I want to get further than that, right? But I've been putting it off because I was mad about it. There is kind of like a mystery thriller, but in Victorian England, so women don't have rights, and that's a big part of the books, but like not in any interesting ways. Like, yeah, okay, tell me something I don't know, right? At this point, but it's also, there are also romances at the same time, and that's like, that was like, so much of the first one was like the mystery of Jack the Ripper, but there's like steampunk like designs in them or whatever in the bodies, and she's like helping investigate them somehow. I don't remember how. And one of the people who is helping her investigate, she thinks maybe Jack the Ripper, but she also has a romance with. And the majority of the book is her dealing with the family stuff because she is a woman in Victorian England, and also her trying to solve these murders. And then all of a sudden, it's purely the romance. It annoyed me. Maybe the Dracula one I will like. Next one, Into the Riverlands. I think this is the third book in this Singing Hills cycle. I loved the second one. Really liked the first one. Loved the second one. It's a bunch of novellas. They're like 150 pages each. About storytelling, the art of storytelling. Animals are used in place of characters sometimes. And I think this one is the one with boar on the cover, and it's blue. The tiger one is the second one, and that one is my favorite. They're also all very fruity, because usually the person who is telling stories or hearing the stories is a non-binary character, who travels around. I think they're like kind of like a monk or something like that, and they travel around telling stories or hearing stories, and feel like the currency is in the storytelling type thing. And so it's very interesting and fun, and this is my reminder to continue, because I haven't read one since the second one, which I loved. And that was like over a year ago. We don't need to talk about it. Twisted Games. I think this one's a bodyguard romance. I read the first one earlier this year. It was like my favorite book from that vlog, I'm pretty sure, which was so not expected. I hated the ending, but the majority of it I did like. So I think the second one is like an heiress and her bodyguard, her new bodyguard, who is much more protective of her than the old one, like very controlling. And so it's them romance. I think it's also kind of like dark romance. Like, I read a dark romance vlog, and then I was gonna say it was a really dark romance, but then there was a whole stalking aspect. So yes. But that's that one. I don't know much about. They're like romances that can be read as standalones. I liked enough to read the sequel. This is my reminder to pick up the goddamn sequel. Listen, there's 70 series on that list. Sometimes they get lost in the sauce, and I gotta find them again. And this is, most of them is me reminding me to continue these series. One of those, Bloody Rose, the second book of the Kings of Wild series. I think it's gonna be. That's not the name of the series. That's the name of the first book. I know that for a fact. I owned the first one, and I liked it. I don't remember what I gave it, but I did really like it. I had a favorite character. I loved him greatly. I don't remember his name. Bloody Rose. Rose is the daughter of the main character in the first one. The Bands is the name of the series. I remember this because somebody informed me that the series, each one is like a different time period of music and bands that's based off of. And I think Bloody Rose is the 80s? Or is it the 90s? I don't remember. Anyways, she's the daughter of the main character in the first one, and instead of like a band, they're mercenaries, right? And there was stuff about her being missing, and I think that was like why they initially went on the job in the first one. So in this one, she's an adult. She's the one in that one. And has a band of her own. That is the plot of it. There's, I think, planned to be 3, but the third one's even out yet. And I remember when I read the first one, people were like, "Well, Bloody Rose isn't even out yet," but it had come out and nobody knew about it. Like there was no fanfare about it, despite the fact that I had seen so many great things about the first one. So this will be me catching up on the series because I'll caught up, so it won't count on the list. And we love that. And also another fantasy by White Man. Shit, I gotta stop that. Anyways, that's it. That's the last one. I don't really have an explanation. The same reason why. The theme, fam, the theme. Anyways, this has taken me an hour. I'm sorry to editing me and whoever has decided to watch it. I apologize. Blame the fever. I'm going to go. I guess I should go read ACOG, honestly. Yeah, I guess I'll go do that. And have a good time. I say good time. I don't know if it's a good time. Anyways, I should go read that. Goodbye. Thank you for coming to the video. Do I know the schedule for December yet? Absolutely not. Don't look at me. I know there's a holiday romance vlog. Do I know I'm gonna read it? Absolutely not. I know it's just gonna exist. And it comes out, I think, the 23rd, because that's a Wednesday. So it felt fitting. That's it. There's plenty plans for any of your vlogs. I think I can combine vlogs and videos in one word. If I manage to finish all my 25 and 2025, it will be a whole video where I tier list all of them and talk about all of them in depth. So another long video for me to edit. So that's everything. Stay tuned for favorites, surprises in a disappointing way video. And also, oh yeah, I also forgot to mention there's also gonna be a video where the Simon Team Free books video is gonna happen again, which is important because Stranger Tides or Curious Tides and The Rebel and the Rose, the first one, the Dragon Flames, both were from the first one from last year, initially. So there will be another one of those videos if you want to watch that one. If you haven't seen that one, I have seen this one, I'd be surprised if that one's one of the higher viewed videos on my channel. But yeah, stay tuned for all those. I got plans. Now if only stop being sick. Goodbye.